Hello everyone, Septa here, and today I'm going to be platinuming Call of Duty Black Ops 2. This game was recently ported to PS4 and PS5, and as soon as I saw that coming out, I knew we had to platinum it. This platinum was previously unobtainable because the Big Leagues trophy was shut down in 2015, but now they replaced that trophy with just starting the campaign, making it now obtainable. We are going to have to go through 3 different stages, being campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. This is by far the most taxing COD that we have platinumed so far, but we do start out the campaign with David Mason being Alex Mason, or the BO1 main character's son, and Harper end up heading into this nursing home to find Woods, who is now an UNC. Basically, he was previously seen by Menendez, the game's main villain, and we kind of have to get some answers because he has some stuff to do with the death of Mason from Black Ops 1. Now this game goes in between from the future missions and the past missions. Honestly, a great flow to the story, but we have to kind of not piece together what happened, but kind of figure out why they have this big beef and then put an end to Menendez. Just a little bit going into this platinum, we're gonna have to do a bunch of random stuff in zombies, as well as the Easter egg, prestige and do some other stuff in multiplayer, and do all the challenges, the choices, because there's different story choices in campaign, and play the campaign on veteran in order to get all the trophies. Now we start out the game with Mason heading back into the military after the events of Black Ops 1. Basically, Woods was on a operation in Angola and actually went MIA. And since they don't know where he is and don't have any other experienced soldiers to get to him, Mason has to go back into the field, abandoning his son David to go help out his old friend. Now, as I said previously, we are going to get our first trophy for just actually going into the first mission, but the first mission is going to find Woods, which is the first past mission. Big Leagues for starting the campaign. Now that we're actually in the mission with the trophy, we meet up with Savimbi, this guy who is leading the kind of revolution in Angola. Basically, we are going to be helping them clear out the area so that we can go find Woods and hopefully rescue him if he's not already dead. This mission is one of the most iconic in Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty as a whole. By far, probably my top 3 missions of the campaign. Honestly, it's not too difficult at all, even on veteran, and it's super fun because you just get to shoot tons of enemies, and even the challenges on this mission aren't too bad. But yeah, I really enjoyed this mission and just think that this campaign overall is one of the best that I've ever played. But soon after helping them clear out the area, we actually open up a spot for Hudson in the chopper to come down and pick up Mason so that we can go and head to find Woods. He is taken by a Nicaraguan gun runner, and basically this is our first contact with this gun runner. He'll come back up, but this is the ship that has Woods on it, but our chopper shot down, I apologize, and we have to kind of clear out the boat so that we can rescue Woods. After clearing out the boat, Mason and Hudson open up the crate that Woods is supposedly in and come face to face with a just terrible sight. Basically, Woods' entire squad ends up being killed by this gun runner, and the only person that's alive is our shiny white glowing in the back, Woods. He's still alive because if you remember from the first game, he can't be killed, which is, it remains true in this game, I'm not gonna lie, even though he's an UNC when we actually see him in the future. But after getting Woods to a safe spot, we have to go to the radio area to kind of relay Savimbi to kind of save us, you know. But we come face to face with this gun runner, who is none other than Menendez. This kind of starts our generational beef with this guy, and everything comes from this moment. He, instead of complying, just destroys the radio and waits for his men to come in and tries to kill Mason with a grenade. Mason ends up not taking too kindly to this, and after their struggle, he actually shoots him in the head, which should have, ended this whole thing, but instead it just took out Menendez's eye and really pissed him off. Afterwards, we have to fight through countless Cuban troops until a supposed chopper, enemy chopper, comes, but it turns out that this chopper is none other than Savimbi, here to come and save us, because honestly, we're all about to die at this point. There was a ton of soldiers coming after us. Soon after this, we will get our first story trophy. There is actually a trophy that comes after every single mission. I also completed a challenge on this mission, so we will be getting 2 different trophies from this. No Man Left Behind for rescuing Woods. And for the challenge trophy, just getting started for completing 1 challenge in any level. Our next mission was Solarium. This was our first future mission, and we play as David Mason, or as I'll call him, Section. Him, Salvazar, and Harper, the main kind of future missions crew, heads into a jungle facility to get information on the Solarium and Menendez's kind of plans. We end up opening up this crate and finding a scientist that claims to know information about the Solarium, and he actually does. He is a huge asset to our team, and he basically explains that it's this huge, like, electronic device that can power everything, and Menendez is planning to make a cyber attack on it. And right as he's explaining everything to us, he gets kirked, and then we kind of just have to escape the facility and kill all the enemies. If you can't tell by now, most of the campaign is just killing enemies, and after Briggs comes to retrieve the device, we get a trophy. Gathering Storm for investigating the jungle facility. Our next mission is another mission in the past. This mission requires Mason and Woods to go help the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. Basically, if we help them against the impending doom from the Russian forces, they'll give us some information on Menendez and his plans. Now, this mission is probably my favorite. I know during my live commentary I'll say some other stuff, but now that I've completed the campaign over a week ago, I can confidently say that this is my favorite mission. Now, this mission is so good because you get to run around, destroy helicopters and tanks, and ride a horse. Like, that's just so cool for a COD game. And I know I'm kind of brushing over a lot of these missions, but that's because most of it is just combat, and that can be kind of boring. But eventually we have to take out these big tanks towards the end of the mission, and we end up seeing a familiar face when we go to slam dunk that fucking mortar in there. We see Kravchenko from the first game, because I guess Woods never actually killed him. So we get the numbers, and Mason's about to freak out, and we end up actually almost killing him because Mason is still infected by the numbers, but not fully. And after Woods knocks him out to capture him, we get one of our first big choices. Basically, you have to spam the square button in order to resist blowing Kravchenko's head off. Now, doing this is actually very significant to the ending of the game you get, and you do get a trophy later on for not shooting him. Now, eventually we find out that there's a mole in the CIA, and Woods kills him himself. The CIA mole, by the way, is working for Menendez. Afterwards, we're betrayed by the Mujahideen, and they strand us in the middle of the desert to die. This next part of the mission is kind of confusing to me, because we actually are saved by a very familiar face if you played Black Ops 1. We end up being saved by the one and only Tricky Vic Reznov. Basically, if you play the first game, you know that whenever Mason sees Reznov, it's a hallucination. So I genuinely don't know how they got saved, since Reznov is the one that saved them. And afterwards, we get a story trophy and a miscellaneous trophy. Shifting Sands for gathering intel on Raul Menendez from Mullah Rahman. And Gun Nut for completing a level with a customized loadout. After this, we do our first Strike Force mission. Basically, there are 5 of these, and they heavily impact what happens on the story. The first one is just to defend an Indian facility from being attacked by the SOC. Basically, if we lose this, then our enemies gain a country on their forces. This mission is just defending 3 points, not too difficult, but we still are going to have to replay this mission. I think I did it 3 or 4 times to get all the challenges later on, but we do get a trophy for each Strike Force mission that we do complete. And this one isn't too bad. They're just kind of bland and boring in my opinion. Just not much to them. You kind of just kill enemies and do various objectives like defend or capture stuff. It's kind of like multiplayer, like it's an early DMZ in my opinion. Kind of reminds me of DMZ a bit. But then we do win because, I'm him. And after we win, we successfully keep India in our safe graces, and we do end up getting a trophy as well. Defender for successfully defending the FOB Spectre from incursion. Now before we go to the next actual main mission, I decided to do the second Strike Force mission because these are actually limited. Like after you do a certain amount of missions, you get locked out of doing these, which is how you can get effed over on your story. So I decided to do the next one, which was just capturing 3 areas and then blowing up this ship for yet another trophy.
Singapore slang for successfully neutralizing the SDC freighter at Capel Terminal.
The next mission was called Time and Fate. This mission is actually pretty interesting as we are raiding Menendez's compound to hopefully capture him. Now we're doing this with the main trio being Woods, Hudson, and Mason, but we are also joined by Noriega. He is the dictator of Panama, and we're teaming up with him to take down Menendez. Now, in this mission, we actually get to play as Menendez, which I believe this is the first time they do it in the COD campaign. But basically, the Panama, like, soldiers, I guess, I don't know what to call them, they go and try to capture him, and he ends up going all psycho because, like, obviously he cares about his sister, but he goes like psycho over his sister. Eventually Noriega betrays us and actually tries to save Menendez. Honestly, I don't know why he did this. If he wanted Menendez, he could have just shot his shot, but instead he did all this gay stuff to kind of try to get on his good side or whatever. Menendez doesn't care though, he knocked his ass out. And then we actually get to rampage on, like, as Menendez in his compound, killing all the Panama soldiers. Now we can get a, not missable, but like a mission specific trophy here for saving all the civilians. There will be soldiers just like right here, randomly killing civilians, and all you have to do is just kill those soldiers and you can get the trophy. Once again, not too bad at all, and you get this just by shooting them as you go.
And of the people for stopping the brutality inflicted by the PBS.
After getting that trophy, we arrive at the compound where Menendez has a struggle with Hudson before a frag grenade goes into his sister Josefina's room and ends up killing her, and supposedly Menendez. Afterwards, we get to replay the mission, this time as our infamous trio, and we just kind of flank the other side of the compound, taking out Menendez's cartel members. This part was more fun than Menendez's, although it is significantly longer than the first part, and this part is way easier to die on as well. Eventually, we find out that Woods is the one that went psycho and ended up chucking that grenade. Now, Woods kind of cockblocks him from killing Hudson and Menendez, and it's kind of both of their faults, honestly, that everything happened. But right here we can see the fucking god shot that killed Josefina before we complete the mission. And at this point, by the way, Woods believes that Menendez is dead, and then we get our story trophy.
Driven by rage for taking down Menendez and his operation.
We also did all challenges, so here's this trophy.
Mission complete for completing all challenges in a level.
Afterwards was my least favorite mission. This mission was fun the first time, but after having to replay it a million times for challenges, I genuinely hate this mission with every fiber of my being. But basically, Section and Harper have to go and get intel from Menendez. None of the intel ends up being that good, if I'm being honest, but it's kind of a like stealth mission, and then at the very end there's a bunch of action, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to be honest, I think all the intel that we get isn't even that useful. I think the only useful part was that a drone went down in a Middle Eastern country, and then Menendez was trying to meet with one of the Chinese officials. But eventually, as I said, things go loud, and there's actually a, once again, not missable, but a mission-specific trophy that you can get here. Basically, one of the pipes will burst into flames, and you have to drive away from it, otherwise Harper's face will be burned. So just for missing it, which is, missing it, which is really easy, you do get a trophy. Literally, all you gotta do is just swerve as far to the right as you can, just like I'm doing right here, and I got it first try.
Hey, good looking for avoiding plastic surgery, which just means swerving out of the way of that flame, like you saw me do.
Afterwards, we meet up with that Chinese dude I was talking about, and he actually lets us go because we're also here for Menendez, and this situation ends up being diffused pretty peacefully, and then after talking, we get our next story trophy.
Waterlogged for gathering information on Raul Menendez's suspected terrorist plot. Very easy mission in my opinion.
After doing that mission, we unlock the worst goddamn mission I've ever played in my life. This is the worst Strike Force mission by far. This one I had to play, I think, more times than any other mission in the game for the challenges. And basically we just have to defend, like, political officials from different countries from the, I believe, Russian or SOC forces. And it's terrible. But after finally completing it, we do get yet another trophy. And this is, I believe, 3 out of 5 Strike Force missions.
Desert Storm for successfully escorting the VIPs to safety.
Afterwards, we go on to one of the better missions in the game, where our 3 future boys head to this, like, on-the-water city. I don't know what to call it. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Colossus, but it's basically this super kind of rich hotel. Basically, we are here looking for the Karma weapon that we learned about in Mission 2. Now, we end up finding the database and figuring out that Karma is not a weapon, but it's a woman. She has something special about her, and it ties her into Solarium and all of these kind of different, like, problems with Menendez and all this stuff. So basically, our goal is to capture her. However, Menendez's men also are here to capture her, and we go through this whole shootout where we're chasing DeFalco. By the way, DeFalco is Menendez's right-hand man, and you do end up killing him no matter what in the campaign, just to let you guys know. But here you can either have her get taken and DeFalco get away, or you can kill DeFalco right here and capture her. Now, the choice we need to make is either to capture and kill DeFalco, or if she gets away, you can immediately do the next Strike Force mission. It expires after you do the next mission after this, so you have to do it right away. But she ended up getting away, so I had to do that Strike Force mission. And after they get away, it's very unfortunate because I had to do an extra mission. But we do get our next trophy.
What happens in Colossus for finding the Karma weapon?
Now, I'll complain about having to do extra work, but this mission by far is my favorite Strike Force mission. It takes like 5 minutes after you've done it the first time. Like, the first time I was kind of confused, but after you do it the first time, it's literally so easy. All you got to do is check the 5 buildings, and it's either the last building or the second to last building you check that she's in, and all you got to do is let her out, and then you can either play as her or command her or whatever. But basically, you just got to protect her and take her to the evac. It's super easy. Literally first tried it. And the challenges are pretty easy on this one too. But overall, not too difficult of a mission.
Blind date for successfully rescuing the HVI.
And with that, we are on to our final mission that takes place in the past. This mission has Mason and Woods heading to Panama to capture Noriega. Now, this time we actually play as Woods for, I believe, the first time so far in the COD campaign, like any COD campaign. Basically, we are tracking down and taking out Noriega, and then we're going to plant some evidence to make him look like a terrible dude so that his, like, reputation is screwed up forever. However, when we capture him, we actually get an order from Hudson that we're supposed to capture him because he has intel on some target. This is where we get our trophy for learning about the CIA mole with Kravchenko, just to let you guys know. So I was kind of confused. I don't know if Hudson's a mole or what's going on, but he kind of like betrayed us right here or whatever and got us into some deep trouble. But yeah, here we do get that trophy that you just get from sparing Kravchenko in the 3rd mission.
Fucking Kravchenko. Remember what he said in Afghanistan?
What about
Dirty business.
CIA
Think and listen before you shoot.
After that, Noriega kind of takes us to this like rooftop because the Nexus target is Menendez. So this is where Woods finds out that Menendez wasn't actually killed in the explosion. So we can either shoot him in the legs to spare him or shoot Menendez in the head. Since the trophy guide said to shoot him twice in the leg, I decided to do this to just play everything safe, because as much as I would love to dome Menendez in the head with a nice 50 cal shot, you know, I gotta listen to the trophy guide. So after popping him in both of the legs and making him be just like Woods, we got another trophy.
Reunion. There are 2 futures.
After this, Woods notices Noriega smirking a little too hard, and he rushes over to see what's going on because it's obvious that Noriega betrayed us, and we find out that it's Mason. So by shooting him in the legs, we actually spared Mason, but then Menendez comes in and kneecaps Woods, which is why he's a cripple in the later game, and then we get captured along with Mason, Mason's son David, and then Menendez executes Hudson, meaning that now both Mason and Woods are cripples and Hudson is dead. All of this to traumatize and manipulate David into becoming this rival for Menendez. And then after some cutscenes, we end up getting our next story trophy.
False prophet for capturing Manuel Noriega and bringing him to justice.
After that mission, we unlock our final Strike Force mission, which is just to execute that Chinese dude from the other mission. And after doing that and taking a flick of this lick we just hit, I'm such a gangster, dude. After hitting that flick, we are able to get our last Strike Force trophy.
Art of War for successfully assassinating CDC chairman Tian Zhao.
The next mission is pretty annoying but also pretty cool. We play as Farid, an undercover agent that is working with Section and them, but undercover to work with Menendez. Basically, they are all attacking Menendez's huge conference thing, and we have to play along by shooting at American soldiers before we are faced with one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to deal with in a COD campaign. Basically, Harper's plane gets shot down, and Farid has to decide whether he shoots Menendez or shoots Harper. Now, this is a huge thing because if you shoot Menendez, you do get a trophy, but in order to do what the trophy guide said, I have to shoot Harper, and he was one of the funniest and best characters in the campaign, even though I had to end up slamming his ass out. But yeah, this is one of the hardest decisions in the campaign, but we did have to shoot Harper in order to get the platinum. So afterwards, we unfortunately have to play as David Mason because watching his friend get slimed out and then killing. But afterwards, we head to capture Menendez, and this part was kind of weird because he kind of lets himself be captured, which if you've ever seen any movie or certain video game ever, you know that when the bad guy wants to be captured, it's just never a good thing. He's always got a guy on the inside or an escape plan or something, No one ever goes willingly when they've committed genocides like Raul Menendez here. And then after this cutscene, we do get another story trophy, but this mission overall wasn't too bad. It's one of the shorter ones, I'm pretty sure, from my memory.
Deep cover for capturing Menendez.
Afterwards, we head to our ship named the Obama, where we talk to Raul Menendez and kind of interrogate him. After his interrogation, he somehow breaks out of his cuffs and has a gun to Salazar's head. Now, because Mason's a good friend and low-key an idiot, I just realized I called him Mason. It's Section, okay? It's David Mason. Since he's kind of an idiot, but still a good friend, he puts on handcuffs and let Menendez just knock his ass out. I have no clue why he did this. Could have just shot Menendez right there. Afterwards, Menendez's men just absolutely swarm the ship in attempts to take it over. They have this grand plan that actually involves the Solarium and their grand plan from the start of the campaign. Now it's kind of in action. But we do play as Menendez yet again, where we face Admiral Briggs. Admiral Briggs, I realize I haven't talked about him much. He's basically just the kind of general, kind of dude in charge of Section and their crew. But after holding them all to gunpoint and getting into this huge standoff, it is revealed that the rat is actually Salazar, meaning that this whole time on every mission, all the future missions, Salazar has just been feeding information to Menendez and stuff. And because we saved Chloe, she's there, and because we shot Harper, Farid is there to slime DeFalco's bitch ass out. Now, he does get killed immediately after, so no matter what, you cannot save his life. But Chloe is still alive, and we get our next choice to either kill Admiral Briggs or shoot him in the leg. This is our last decision for the trophies that we need, but we just have to shoot him in the leg. Afterwards, we get like a bunch of, I think we get 3 trophies at the end of this mission. But basically what Menendez is doing now is he's activating the Obama's defense system to kind of fire on the other ships in the area. And then they're going to activate the drones, like the drones are like kind of gunships, to shoot at all of LA because the president's going to be there, to just cause all-out chaos and make people not like America. After Menendez escapes, we are back playing as Section, and we are using Karma in order to actually disable the kind of cyber attack and like work to fight against it. This is where a lot of our decisions kind of come to a fruition, I guess, because since we helped out the Chinese, they're here to help us, and since we got Karma, she's here to help us. But we actually have Salazar that we captured. I noticed I kind of went through that quick, but Salazar got captured and we ended up sparing him. And then we just had to fight along the flight deck and escape into a VTOL, I believe this is. And then after this, we do get our 3 trophies, as this is the mission finished, with America being a victor of this battle.
Ship shape for reinforcements on the way. I think this is for doing all of the whatever the Strike Force missions. Good Karma for cracking the Celerium worm. And Sinking Star for interrogating Menendez. That's the mission completion trophy.
And with that, we are on the second to last mission. This mission, we are in LA during the drone attacks, playing as Section, and our goal is just to kind of clear out the enemy forces and secure the president and as many of the other kind of important political figures as we can. This mission's really fun, and there's tons of combat, including a part where we get to shoot down drones in a plane. Overall, a pretty good but short mission, and there's no miscellaneous trophies for this mission, just one for completing it. So after we completed it, as I said, pretty quick, I think it was like a 20-minute mission, we do get our trophy.
Late for the prom for escorting the president to the secure location in downtown LA.
And with this, we are on to our final mission. For this one, we are raiding Menendez's compound or facility. I don't really know exactly what it is, but it's crawling with ships. It's just all-out warfare, okay? And our goal is to break in and kill Menendez. It's as simple as that. He is going to basically continue the drone attack, is like what we're worried about. And we just have to fight through the entire facility. Overall, a pretty boring mission, as nothing really happens until the facility collapses and we see Menendez about to escape. Now, he's in a stolen American uniform, meaning that he would be able to kind of escape and like be set free. Now, we do get this epic slide sequence where we get to kill 2 of his guards, and then we get a choice actually after we do a kind of takedown on him. Our choice is either to save him and let him live, or execute him. And because I've been chasing after this dude the entire game, and I honestly hate Menendez with a burning passion, you obviously know what I decided to do, so just enjoy the ending and the trophy pops.
Dead or alive for executing Menendez.
And then right after that, we get our final America Hell Yeah cutscene, just like BO1, and then we get our campaign completion trophy.
Death from above for stopping Menendez once and for all.
Now, we do have 2 more trophies that will pop with the campaign completing, that being for getting 10,000 score more on every level and for getting all the intel. But first, I just want to say that since we ended up shooting Mason in the legs, he's actually alive at the end of the campaign for a relatively happy ending, and then we do get those 2 trophies.
High IQ for collecting all intel.
Fuck. Secure the building.
And 10k for reaching a minimum score of 10k in every mission.
Now it is officially time to start replaying the campaign to complete all of the challenges. There's a total of 150, and I ended up getting a random trophy just for bringing a future weapon to the past on the first mission that I decided to go on the challenges for.
Back in time for using a future weapon in the past.
And I'm honestly not going to give you guys too much more info on the challenges, as they just really took me like a couple days to get done. I did get a trophy on mission 8, but besides that, it's literally just playing the same missions over and over again. I was sick by the entire campaign by the time we did finish these challenges, but our trophy that we got was literally just for choosing to shoot Menendez, and he ends up killing Fareed and gives us the trophy.
Ultimate sacrifice for shooting Menendez in mission 8.
And then finally, after so much time grinding, we do get our challenges completed. By far, the Strike Force missions were even more difficult than than the regular missions. But I'm just gonna let myself talk a little bit
in live because I was
so excited.
20 different times, yet the hardest challenge is the one I get first try.
Mission success.
Oh my god, I think we got it. Oh, I'm actually so excited. I don't know if I'll scream like VO1, but this is like the same level of internal excitement as VO1. So let's see, please. I really hope I got it. Challenges trophy. I've genuinely been doing this for 2 days straight. Oh my god! Giant accomplishment for completing all challenges in Black Ops 2. This took me so long. In my first day of grinding, I got these 4 done. My second day, I got all these done. And then today, I've gotten the last 4 Strike Force missions. So all we got to do is replay the entire 11 missions. We don't have to do the Strike Force, but all 11 missions on Veteran. And we have to do the kind of bad choices. And then we just have to do Zombies and Multiplayer for the Platinum.
And like I just said, guys, it is time for our Veteran playthrough, and I'm not going to skip you guys with any of the mission BS. Literally, we're just going to go for the trophies. Our first one was for completing all the past levels on Veteran.
Old-fashioned for completing Pyrrhic, Victory, Old Wounds, Time and Fate, and Supper with Me in Veteran. I kind of messed up a little, so I will have to replay. So after my Veteran run, I will have to replay all these missions up to mission 9 again. To get our last random campaign trophy.
And then I just finished the campaign on Veteran for our next 2 trophies.
Futurist for completing all future levels on Veteran, and Black Ops 2 Master for completing the campaign on Veteran.
And afterwards, I replayed the first 9 missions of the game, this time doing a couple different decisions. I had to let Karma get away and then not do the Strike Force mission and shoot Harper. This way, Karma is not there and Fareed is there, so he can just get smoked. And then we do get the Showdown trophy.
Showdown, our last campaign trophy, just for making some different decisions. And now it is finally time to move on to Zombies. I'm not even finishing the mission. I've genuinely played through every single campaign mission at least 3 different times because I messed myself up with the trophies. I'm finally done after 4 or 5 days of just playing the campaign. I can finally hop into Zombies, boys.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Zombies. Now, most of these trophies can be done solo, but a couple of them are pretty difficult, like doing the Easter egg. But our first trophy is the easiest, just for killing one of these denizens in the fog. Very easy. I don't think they exist for killing the denizens in the forest. And the next trophy I got was for getting all 3 upgrades for the bus. You can find these in these little sheds around the map. There's one at the bus depot, one at the diner, one at farm, and one in town. All you need is a turbine to open it up. Then you literally just put your turbine by the door, go in and grab the part, and then hold, I think it's square, to add it to the bus. And then after getting all 3 of these upgrades, you can get, but it does have to be in one game, remember that. You can get yourself a nice trophy.
Undead Man's Party Bus for putting all of the bus parts on the bus in transit.
And after that, guys, it is time to get our next trophy. This one is most easily done solo because you have to buy 2 perks without turning on power, and you can buy Quick Revive for 500 points and it counts, and then just power up one other perk to get the trophy.
Proper study can always yield a good test score.
Happy hour for buying 2 different perks on transit before turning on power.
After that, we headed to go build 4 different buildables. Now you do have to pick these up. This is where I got wrong. In this specific game, I should have got this trophy way earlier, but I didn't pick up my stuff. But the 4 that I decided to get was the electrical trap at the power station, the turret at farm, the shield at diner, and the turbine at bus depot. And then after picking them all up and building them all, we get the trophy.
Proper study can always yield a
Standard
good
equipment
test
may
score.
vary for grabbing 4 different buildables in one game of transit.
Right after that last trophy, I got another trophy. This one was kind of combat related. Basically, you need the EMP grenades to do both sides of the Easter egg on this map, and you can actually get 2 other trophies. One for killing the mini boss, the Avogadro, without dying, and you can one-shot the Avogadro with the EMPs. And the other one is to stun 10 zombies with the EMP. It kind of just works like a stun nade on the zombies, but you have to stun 10 in one grenade, which is very easy, and I do it right here.
Can always yield a good
The
test
lights
score.
of their eyes for pacifying 10 zombies with the EMP, but unfortunately I think I'm dead here.
The next trophy comes with denizens. Basically, once you power up a lamppost, either with a turbine or by turning on the power, you can bring a denizen over to it, and the denizen will actually burrow into the ground, allowing you to teleport to a different lamppost, and after doing your first one, you get a trophy.
Fuel efficient for using the denizen tunnel to teleport across the map.
Our next 2 trophies all have to do with the transit Easter egg. I decided to do the Maxis side as it's much easier, and me and my boy Chungus actually ended up getting this done. It took me a bunch of times of trying to get randoms, and I'm not going to go too much into the Easter egg steps, but I just decided to do Maxis. And then when you have to chuck the EMP, I ended up getting that 1 EMP trophy. Now I obviously didn't say anything because I was mid Easter egg, but that's just for killing him without taking any damage. Now, I did finish the Easter egg, but this took many attempts. I tried to do it with randoms, but my recommendation would just be to either do it with your friends, or if you don't have any friends like me, go make some on PSN profiles, which is how I met my boy Chungus. So shout out to him for helping me so much with this platinum, and here is us getting the Easter egg done.
Oh my god, Tower Babble for doing the transit Easter egg.
He also helped me get the last 2 zombies trophies. The first one was just for getting Tombstone. You could do this on any of the transit-like maps, so I decided to do it on town. You just got to get the perk, let these zombies take you away or kill yourself by holding square, and then you just run and grab your Tombstone for the
Dance on
trophy.
my grave for acquiring your Tombstone in Green Run.
And after that, Chungus carried me. Basically, this next trophy is to open every door inside of transit without getting set on fire, and there's lava all over the map which sets you on fire. This is really difficult, and you can either do this by getting a bunch of points in the bank and just being good, or by getting a nice friend like my boy Chungus. And basically, he kind of just went around the map and bought all the doors. You can die as long as you don't touch fire. You could be dead the entire time, and then yeah, he just opened up the door and we got the trophy.
Don't fire until you see for opening all the doors without being set on fire in transit, and we are officially done with zombies.
Now, boys, it is time for the final stage of the Platinum, multiplayer. This is by far, on paper, the easiest side, as there's only 4 trophies, but it is the hardest. I spent about 30 hours doing this. All we got to do is reach level 10 for a trophy, level 55 and then prestige for a trophy, then win 10 games in combat training for a trophy, and 10 games of party games for a trophy. The first trophy I get is a little later in this clip for reaching level 10, but it does end up being pretty difficult because I suck ass. I sucked ass for the first 25 hours of gameplay, and then I finally got sentient, but here is that trophy.
Welcome to the club for reaching level 10 in multiplayer.
Afterwards, we just went to that huge grind to hit level 55, and I decided to go for all of the combat training trophies first. Well, I say all it's just one. Literally, it's not too difficult. You kind of just play, and it's not very good at leveling you up because you do get half XP. But it was honestly really easy to get all these wins, and it did push me up to level 20, I believe, as you can see in the clip.
Oh my god, trained up, boys, for winning 10 games in the combat training playlist. This trophy is only difficult because combat training, I couldn't find a single game in boot camp, which is the quick one, I think, and then it locks to level 10. And this, there was 12 entire games in the entire world. So
This was a pretty difficult trophy to get into, and I've already done half of my party games, but after I do the rest of those, I'm probably just going to play regular until we're done. After that, I decided to go to party games. These were a lot easier as you just had to hit top 3, but still decently difficult. I ended up getting these in like an hour after I got the last ones, and these give terrible XP, so don't do this if you're grinding levels. But yeah, after just about an hour or 2 total, we did get this pretty easily. Party Animal for winning 10 games in party mode. This one was a bit easier than the last one, but honestly still pretty difficult, as it took me a bit of time. But in this like 1 hour play session, I got 5 of my different games, so as I said, not nearly as bad as the combat training. And then after long hours of grinding, like literally the multiplayer grind to prestige took me longer than it took me to do all of campaign and zombies, or I think it was like an equivalent amount of time. It took more hours to do campaign and zombies, but it took more days. And this is why I have not uploaded in, I think, 11 days or 12 days as this video comes out. It's literally all because I was grinding out multiplayer during all of my free time. But yeah, the only strategy I really found was to play Ground War. Before I was playing Domination, that was getting me like 6k XP a game, but I switched to Ground War and I was getting 8 to 10. This sped me up so fast. But after a long and hard like week of playing multiplayer, okay, we did finally get it. And I freak the F out because, I mean, it is a crazy accomplishment to get it. So, Editing Septa signing out. Enjoy the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the whole thing.
Oh my god, 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 we got it. Oh my god, we got it. Holy crap. We actually got, I think we got it. Hold up, how do I prestige? Oh my god, this platinum has taken so long. I don't even care. I don't care. Do I have to learn more? I don't care. Oh my god, yes! Welcome to the penthouse for prestiging in a public multiplayer match. And guys, I just want to say, I finished zombies like, today's the 17th, like 12:30 a.m. on the 17th. I finished zombies like a week ago, okay? I'm so ready for this platinum. And the platinum trophy for Black Ops 2, the second platinum in our Black Ops series. Before I sign off on this video, just a reminder, I'm trying to beat all 7 platinums before we hit 1,000 subs. Now this might be a multi-month challenge, but I'd like to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.